made Aamir Khan so confident that you were the right guy for Delhi Belly?
I did a quick postmortem of the success and moved on. It's a completely new genre that we have invented.
I see a Sourav Ganguly in you too.
There was Mughals before that, there was Portuguese, there was French, there was Mongols, and exploited this country and gone. We always feel that the white man is more superior. My God, yes, it is true. So little credit has been given to that movement.
Hi, I'm Bhawana Somaaya and welcome to Movie Moth. I'm extremely happy to introduce a filmmaker whose genius everybody knows because he comes from the ad world and then got into the mainstream cinema, Abhinay Deo.
Thank you.
Abhinay, where have you been? What have you been doing all this time?
Well,
I've seen you after ages.
Yeah, I know. We are really meeting after a very, very long time.
I think the last time we met was when you were editing Delhi Belly.
Yeah.
And then between that, I think for your wife's book release, we met very briefly.
Yeah, that's right.
Bus.
Yeah.
Gayab, Mr. India.
No, so I'll tell you what, this is, I may wear many caps, very many hats, which is, I do advertising, I do television, I do features, now this is, with this film, docu-fiction. So I like to just keep pushing the envelope and having fun, yeah. So I don't know, whenever the opportunity comes up to do something different, I don't leave it. So then I go into the khal of it and start trying to dig. So it takes time.
Because you come from the commercial ads world, and the thing there is that you never know who's made which film.
That's true.
Okay?
That's true.
So sometimes you sense it because you are familiar with the filmmaker's work. For example, when I saw the Ramesh Deo ad of going and buying some electronic from Vijay Sales with his granddaughter, and I loved it so much because there is so much of an emotion quotient to that, and a good actor just sails through it. True. And I said, "Ye zarur uske bete ne ad banai hogi."
But मैंने नहीं बनाई थी.
आपने नहीं बनाई थी?
नहीं, unfortunately, advertising में आज तक मैंने अभी तक I have not been able to direct my parents at all in advertising.
But you're the only filmmaker who came from the ad world, got 2 breaks from very big banners, Chalo Cinema and Aamir Khan. One was not
as successful,
and the other was a very big hit.
True.
And who has just disappeared because he didn't want to pursue immediately more mainstream cinema. Why is that?
I have always been a kind of a person who, even in advertising, I have that same concept of saying, does this excite me enough to put 1 year of my life into? And if it does not, then just because it is a film that has come my way, I will do it. That doesn't work for me. So what I did was, actually funnily enough, after Delhi Belly and Game got over, and Delhi Belly was such a big success, I actually went and made 24. So because for me, that was path-breaking. That was pushing the envelope on my many levels. Yeah. So I went and did television. While 24 was not really suited for television, it is suited today for digital.
It came a little early.
It came too early for its, its...
Maybe you can think of reviving it again.
Of course, we are, as a matter of fact, we are.
So I have to tell you that when I saw Delhi Belly, it was that first preview that he had for some people.
Yeah.
So I came out and Aamir was standing with his hands on his hips and he said, "Tell me." So I took a deep breath and... I don't like to lie.
Yeah.
So I feel it's best to tell them the truth right away. And I said, it's too much for me. So he looked at me and he said, yeah, it's not your kind of a film. So I said, yeah, it's not my kind of a film. Yeah. And then I said, but outside it is Aamir Khan Productions. And you made Lagan and you made Tare Zameen Par. And I'm not saying that this is not a good film. Yeah. I'm just saying it's too young and it doesn't work for me. Yeah. I am old world. So he said, no, don't worry, the film is going to do very well even if you're not like it. I said, yes, of course it will do well. And it did. And 24, I just couldn't watch it because I was so scared all the time and I was so stressed all the time. And this is what's happening in the web world now, that they're just making you scared and they're making you stressed.
Very true.
But it was a big leap for you because you're doing with Anil Kapoor.
Yes.
What was the difference about working with a star in a web series and working with a star in a movie?
I think there is no real big difference. The difference comes in, because both places we are telling a story. In both places, the film world remains into, giving you the same challenges.
Okay.
But the biggest challenge, which is different, and that is different for the actor as well as for the director and the team, is that in a web series or in a television, You're just doing it for relentlessly for 300 days.
It's like making 3 films.
It's like making 8 films. Wow. Just imagine. It's like, I'll give you statistics, which will. 24 was 20 hours of edited footage.
My God.
Which means there are some films which are not made in 1.5 years, which are 2-hour films. This was 20 hours of edited, which means if you look at the sheer amount that we had to shoot,
yes,
was we shot for like 20 films and cut it down to 8 films.
So, but you make 8 times money also fast, no?
No, you don't.
You don't?
No.
Then what is the nasha? If you're not making that kind of money, why are you doing it?
That is the problem. My producer keeps giving me galis because of the same reason. He tells me that you always end up taking up projects which make less money and take more time, which is both detrimental to the growth of a company.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, but don't think of money and time. Think of what we are creating. We are creating history.
It's path-breaking.
It's path-breaking cinema. It's path-breaking content. So let's make this. Like, for example, when Netflix came into India, Amazon and Netflix both visited. The first place they visited was us, because they came to us and
you
said,
done it.
"You already
Tried
done
and
it.
tested.
So we want you to do it."
Right.
And I said, "Yeah, sure." So I've been working since then on different projects for them.
So जब गेम नहीं चली, आपको कितना बुरा लगा था? Did you know while making the film कि ये शायद workout नहीं होगी?
बुरा तो of course, making a film is like giving birth to a child, literally. Particularly people who put in 100%, 200% into it. And when your child doesn't turn out to be, good, then... Halaki, I don't think that it was not a good film. I think it was a good film.
I had liked it.
Yeah, correct.
I had liked the pace. I had liked the treatment.
Exactly. And yet, it didn't work.
Yeah.
I think mainly because it was very, I wouldn't say ahead, but it was like a foreign film. Many people told me that, यार ये तो foreign film जैसी लग रही थी, वो तो हमारी थी नहीं. So that desiness or the Indianness in it was completely missing.
Well analyzed.
I think it was very well, and it is not my analysis. It came to me from certain people, and I think उसमें से सीख लेनी चाहिए. So I took that as a, while I'd shot Delhi Belly first, and I'd shot Delhi Belly first.
Okay.
I shot Game second.
Okay.
Game released first, and Delhi Belly released second.
So what made Aamir Khan so confident that you were the right guy for Delhi Belly?
He had only seen my advertising work.
Okay.
So he saw some of my ads which were doing really well at that point, and it was there was a lot of pace in them. There was very down to earth, desiness in it, and all that was there. So he felt that a subject like Delhi Belly needs to be dealt with by somebody slightly different, not the run-of-the-mill filmmakers. The mainstream filmmakers. It needs to have a young, youthful, edgy filmmaker to do it. And I guess that's the reason why he got it.
But you all were confident it will work?
Were
you prepared for this extent euphoria?
No, not at all. To be very honest, I don't think till date I have made a single film or worked on a single project thinking of what its result is going to be.
Right.
What I do, and that's something which works for me, is I only think of what am I making? What will this do in the future? I have no idea. That's the reason why I think when Game didn't work, I moved on instantly.
Correct.
Because for me it was like, I like the film. I made it with 150% of my soul in it.
Yeah.
Okay, I will want to learn why it didn't work so that I don't make the same mistake again.
A quick postmortem.
And move on. The same things I've done with every film. Even with Delhi Belly. When it became successful, I did a quick postmortem of the success and moved on.
Yes.
And I went and did 24, which you can never measure the success. How do you measure the success of something like 24?
Yeah.
Because TRP to kabhi dikhayega hi nahi because it was not for television.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? So,
you can just make it from the feedback and what people you meet and what they say and whatever.
Correct.
So now we come to Doosra.
Yeah.
I looked at the trailer. I looked at it twice. Then I looked at it again the third time because I was trying to understand. There are many things I have not yet got it.
Sure.
So it's talking about cricket, but it's talking about many other things but cricket.
Yeah.
Full House chaos here at Lord's, and nobody has left their seats.
Magnificent effort here today. They're 2 runs off winning.
Goes for the single. Direct hit was required. They don't get it. Sahir scampers for the second. India have won. Sourav Ganguly is thrilled to bits. One of
We are
India.
talking about the socio-political changes that was happening to the country through a young protagonist, probably.
That's right.
How did this idea come to you? What made you want to do this film?
The idea actually was the germ of the idea came into there's a couple, Rohan and Masha Sachdev. They live in Chicago and Indians. Rohan, out of the two, Rohan has played cricket for Australia, in Australia.
Okay.
And he was also at an age, a very impressionable age in 2002 when this particular incident of Sourav Ganguly in Atlas series happened. And it is literally, the story began from them to say that, we feel that that 2002 incident meant much more than what it seemed like and what met
That
the eye.
incident is about Sourav Ganguly removing his shirt
And twirling it
and
at the
throwing it.
balcony of Lord's, at the Lord's balcony, and after the victory against England, while England had made an incredible score at 2002, they had made 326 to win, and India won that match. Amazingly, India had won that match without the top famous Fab Five performing that well.
Has got him. That's in.
It's got him. Celebration for England, disappointment for the huge number of Indian fans in the crowd.
We were 148 for 5. And then we ended up making 326. And
Without
that
any
was
star
made,
in our team.
No star. All the stars were out. And
So it was the have-nots who made it.
have-nots who made it.
And that too in a country which has ruled us for years.
For years, and who actually taught us the game of cricket.
Full toss. They go for the single this time. A throw and a miss. They're going to get back for 2. India are home. Lords goes wild. Zahir Khan punches the air. Mohammed Kaif
But
is
then Sourav removed it.
Yeah.
And do you think he had thought it or he just did
No,
it
no,
impulsively?
no. It was an impulse. He didn't think about this. But where did that impulse come from? So that's what we are trying to show in this film. That impulse came from, over 1,000 years of colonization. Whether it was not just the British, it was Mughals before that, there was Portuguese, there was French, there was Mongols, there were, innumerable, people who have come in
Yes.
and exploited this country and gone. And there was this massive inferiority complex that we have lived with. That against the white, right? Towards the white. We always feel that the white man is
superior.
more superior. In that kind of a scenario comes a man who becomes the captain of an Indian team. And he came in and gave an attitude to the rest of the team that, listen, we are as good as them. Actually, we are better. So now it's time for us to show it. That was the attitude with which he came. And the funniest part about it was, when he did what he did, what it meant for the youth of India at that point. Now that is what we are trying to exploit. There was a whole bunch of people who turned around and, turned their noses to it. To say, ऐसा कौन करता है? Why would he do it at all?
Snobbery.
Not nice. It's not, you shouldn't be.
Dignified
This is,
नहीं है.
yeah, dignified नहीं है. ये
फिर
क्या?
लोग
Gentlemanly नहीं है. ऐसा कैसे? Now, there was youth at that time, which were 14, 15, 19, 20. They were all looking at that incident and saying, they were not looking at it as वो क्या कर रहा है. They were looking at it as, okay, if he can stand there at Lord's in the balcony, Mecca of cricket, and wave his t-shirt after a victory which is unprecedented victory, why can't I? And that's what happened. And then who were 14, 15 and 19 today are into their late 30s. And
Which
early
is your
30s.
writer?
Which is my writer, and he was not my writer, he was the idea maker.
Okay.
But the writer is Agnello Dias, who's also similar age of me,
Yes,
mine.
yes.
And all of us at that point, we suddenly sat back, and when Rohan said this, and we said, my God, yes, it is true. So little credit has been given to that moment. So this was a reason why we said we have to make this film, because the due credit has to be given to that moment, given to India as a country, given to Captain and Sourav Ganguly as a captain, and given to the youth who was watching it. So this is a film which is two parallel things going on. A pure history in the making, the documentary part, and a pure fiction in the making, which is our way of showing the youth of that time getting influenced.
In a moment, the country changed. We realized by being who we are good enough. We don't need to aspire to be anybody else.
And it became a we can do it too statement to the world. And I think it was a coming of age for a generation that was seeking that kind of message.
It captures a certain uprising from old thoughts and old bondages and old compunctions.
India's character had changed. We were not meek. We were not inferior. We are not going to be docile.
We will not take a step back any longer. We are equal. We have arrived.
It was the equivalent of a strategically pointed finger at the English cricket establishment.
If that moment was replayed again, would all of India want Ganguly to take his shirt off and wave it at the home of cricket, at Lord's, on the balcony? And I think all of India would.
The structure of the film is a docudrama, which is what you call it.
I wouldn't say it's a docudrama, because a docudrama has few other definitions as per
So
the...
what is the structure called?
It is actually, it's a completely new genre that we have invented, which is docufiction, which is pure fiction. Okay, so it's not like many people have done documentary.
Yes.
But part of documentary where there is no footage has been recreated. That's a docudrama. That you're dramatizing a documentary.
Sachin's film is that?
No, Sachin's film is a literally pure documentary. He has footage of his life and what he did.
Okay.
This is history.
So you call
from
this what?
91
Docufiction.
Docufiction. It's 91
so
to 2002.
So you will be our first filmmaker to make a docufiction?
Yes.
Wow.
And I researched it all over the world, and to try and see anybody who has done it. There's nobody.
Because I went back to the footage where Bora and Piyush Pandey are talking, and I'm loving what they are saying.
Yeah.
And I said, so how will he weave it? What is going to be the way it's going to go?
Yeah.
Then I said, now I'm going to ask him. I can't figure it out.
No,
but I'm very curious.
Yeah, it is something that you will have to watch, because it's very difficult for me to even explain it. And if I do, then there will be very less left to watch.
Yeah.
I think we've tried to weave it. We've tried to have both the genres, fiction as well as documentary, going hand in hand. And I think quite confidently I can say that after the first few minutes, an audience forgets what is fiction, what is documentary, and they just start watching, because it is a part of Indian history, recent history, but history nevertheless, which makes you feel proud at the end to be who we are and where we are. That's the point.
I see a Sourav Ganguly in you too, because you have the confidence to make a different genre of film, that too with non-stars. I don't think there are any big stars in the film.
No.
They're all good actor faces.
Yes.
And taking a big step of exploring a new idea. Also the fact that, like your father, you are open to complete strangers getting in touch with you and giving you their subjects and films. Like, how did you get in touch with this guy, and how did you brainstorm the idea? You just met him.
I just met him. He just called me up one day. He took my number out from somewhere, and he just called me up. And he said, do you think we can talk about a subject? And I said, sure. And I actually believe that. I believe in my company also. My statement to everybody in my company is that it doesn't matter where the idea comes from. As long as it's in the benefit of the film that we are trying to make, give me an idea. I don't have a problem. The guy who is working in the pantry to the director of the film, anybody in the middle can come up with an idea. And if it works for the film, it will be in the film.
So will you always make like these different films, or will you also make a typical family masala?
No, I would love to.
You will make it?
Of course, 101%. See, making a film is very difficult. It has so much of hard work, and you need to keep your focus and your interest alive for so long.
Yes.
That it is a must to be able to sustain it for that long period of time. I don't know in the earlier years how people used to do it. 5, 6 years to make a film.
Roop Ki Rani Choro Ka Raja ko 5 saal.
That was the last film, by the way, my mother worked in. Do you know that? Because she got so disappointed and fed up with it. She said, "Kid, this is not the cinema I signed up for. I'm sorry, I'm out."
I wish you all the best and I look forward to watching your film. Thank you. It's always wonderful chatting with you.
Same here. Thank you, Baba.
1947 was our political freedom. 1991 was our economic freedom. And 2002 was our emotional freedom. A freedom to fly.
Hi, I'm Abhinay Deo, and you're watching me on the movie Moth. Moth, M-O-T-H, not M-A-U-T-H. Okay, so please subscribe to the channel.